You've probably said compliments before. You look nice, you're beautiful, you're amazing. And still, nothing really changed. She smiled, maybe said thank you, and then the moment just faded away. No deeper connection, no curiosity, no reason for her to think about you later. So, what's missing? Why do some words stay in someone's mind while others disappear almost instantly? Because not all compliments reach the same place in the brain. Most of them never get past the surface. The truth is, her brain hears compliments all the time, from people around her, from social media, from random interactions during the day. And over time, something interesting happens. Her mind builds a filter, a quiet, automatic system that decides what is worth paying attention to and what is just noise. Generic compliments fall into that noise, not because they're bad, but because they're predictable. And the brain doesn't hold on to predictable things. It saves energy by ignoring them. So when you say something like, "You're really pretty," her brain already knows what category that belongs to. No surprise, no curiosity, no reason to remember it. But attraction doesn't grow from what's obvious. It grows from what feels different enough to notice. There's a simple mechanism behind this. Your brain, and hers, runs on patterns. It constantly tries to predict what's coming next, and when something matches that prediction, nothing special happens. But when something breaks that pattern, even slightly, the brain reacts. It pays attention. Sometimes it even releases dopamine because it wants to understand why this moment feels different. Most compliments pass by like background noise, but the right one creates a pause, and that pause is where memory begins. So instead of trying to say more, you need to say something that lands differently. Not louder, not more dramatic, just more specific, more personal, and slightly unexpected. Because when something feels personal, the brain treats it as important. And when it feels unexpected, the brain holds on to it longer. That's the combination most people miss. The first kind of compliment that actually stays with her is the one that touches identity. Not what she looks like, but who she feels she is. When you say something like, "You seem like someone who notices things most people miss," it creates a small moment of reflection, because now her brain isn't just receiving a compliment, it's asking a question. Is that true about me? And that question pulls her in. People are naturally drawn to anything that reflects their identity, or the version of themselves they want to believe in. And once her mind starts exploring that idea, it doesn't let go easily. The second kind is built on small, unexpected details, something subtle, something most people wouldn't even notice. Like saying, "There's something calm about the way you talk. It's actually rare." Now it feels real because it's specific, and specificity signals authenticity to the brain. It tells her this wasn't random, this was observed. And being observed accurately creates a different kind of attention. Not surface-level attention, but focused attention, the kind that lingers even after the conversation ends. And the third kind is about emotional impact. Instead of describing her, you describe how she affects you. Something like, "Talking to you feels easy, like I don't have to think too much." This works because the brain remembers feelings far more than words. So later, she doesn't just remember what you said, she remembers how it felt to hear it. And that feeling becomes connected to you in a way that feels natural, not forced. If you look closely, all three share something in common. They're not trying too hard. They're calm, slightly unexpected, and just personal enough to stand out. That's what creates a small pause in the mind. And that pause is everything, because the brain doesn't replay everything. It only replays what felt different, what felt incomplete, what it didn't fully process in the moment. So hours later, when everything is quiet, that sentence comes back, not because you forced it, but because her mind is still trying to understand it. And maybe that's the real shift. It's not about making her feel good for a second. It's about giving her something her mind wants to return to, something that feels just a little deeper than expected. Because when a moment feels deeper, it doesn't end when the conversation ends. It continues in silence, in thought, in memory. So next time you speak, don't try to impress her. Don't reach for the most obvious words. Just notice something real, something small,
something that feels like it belongs only to that moment, and say it simply. Because sometimes the words that stay the longest are the ones that didn't try too hard to be remembered.